Hello, you're watching VNA News and now headlines.
Vietnam and India strengthen cooperation in defense. International Book Fair honors reading habit. Exhibition conveys message of compassion.
National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng concluded his official visit to the United States on September 9th. Earlier, he had separate meetings with several of U.S. officials. At the meeting with Secretary of State John Kerry, Chairman Hùng said Vietnam hopes to enhance and deepen its relationship with the United States on all bilateral, regional and global scales. For his part, Secretary Kerry said the U.S. is ready to help Vietnam's National Assembly in building and revising laws in compliance with the 2013 Constitution, as well as in humanitarian issues and activities to address war consequences. The two leaders agreed to enhance their cooperation towards maintaining peace and stability in the East Sea for the benefit of the region and the world. The U.S. side expressed support of Vietnam's stance on dealing with disputes by peaceful means, in compliance with basic principles of international law. Meeting with President pro tempore of the U.S. Senate, Patrick Leahy, Chairman Hùng stressed that the National Assembly of Vietnam always attaches importance to ties with the U.S. He suggested the two nations' legislatures establish an annual dialogue mechanism, organize programs to exchange information and experience in legislative activities and issues of shared concern. President Leahy stated that the U.S. Congress is keen to step up comprehensive cooperation with Vietnam. Both leaders emphasized the importance of bilateral cooperation between the two countries in maintaining peace, stability, cooperation and prosperity in the region and the world. At a reception for Senator John McCain, Chairman Hùng appreciated his support for fostering the bilateral relationship in recent years. Senator McCain expressed his hope that Vietnam and the U.S. as well as other countries involving in negotiations on the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement could reach a consensus on the deal soon. He expressed his concern about recent situations in the East Sea, saying that all disputes should be settled by peaceful means on the basis of respect for international law. On the same day, National Assembly Chairman Hùng met with U.S. Trade Representative Michael Froman. The National Assembly leader affirmed Vietnamese National Assembly is aware of the need to adjust domestic laws in compliance with the guidelines set out by the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. As part of his working trip to Europe, Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Văn Ninh met the trade envoy of the British Prime Minister Lord David Terence Putnam in London.
Deputy Prime Minister Ninh said the establishment of the strategic partnership is the result of the effective cooperation between two countries and demonstrates their mutual trust. He stressed that Vietnam hopes to further boost ties with the UK in trade, investment, tourism, education, culture, finance and services, and pledged to create preferential policies for British investors in Vietnam. The Deputy Prime Minister particularly praised the UK's education sector and asked the UK government to pay attention to cooperation with Vietnam in this field. For his part, Putnam said UK Prime Minister David Cameron's visit to Vietnam in July this year was very successful, but much work needs to be done to translate the visit's outcomes into action. The UK will work hard towards the goal of becoming one of the top 10 foreign investors in Vietnam in the next 2 years, he said.
Indian Air Force Chief Marshal Arup Raha is on a visit to Vietnam. The following are his activities.
On September 10th, Air Chief Marshal Arup Raha was welcomed by Defense Minister Phung Quang Thanh, who said he believed that the visit by the Indian guests will help enhance the traditional relationship between Vietnam and India, promote mutual understanding between the two peoples and armies, and boost bilateral ties in defense between the two countries. Arup Raha said India always attaches importance to relations with Vietnam. This is the special ties that the Indian people always respect. He also said India admires the achievements Vietnam has made in their struggles for independence and national reunification and development. Earlier the same day, Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army Do Ba Tị hosted a welcome ceremony and held talks with Indian Air Force Chief Marshal Arup Rahar. They discussed issues of mutual concern and proposed measures to promote defense ties in the future, focusing on exchange of visits, personnel training in the English language and information technology.
During his working visit to France, Government Inspectorate General Huỳnh Phong Chanh had separate meetings with local officials to share experience in corruption prevention and control.
During the meetings with Director of the French Financial Inspection Agency Christian Lepetit and French Minister of Justice Christian Taubira, the two sides exchanged expertise in legal measures to prevent and combat corruption. According to the French officials, to ensure the operational efficiency of state-run agencies, it is necessary to put forth measures and legal documents to adjust the attitude and behavior of individuals in the decentralized state management system, as well as concentrate on individual professional ethics in public services. Chang informed the host of the socio-economic situation in Vietnam, along with the party and state's policies and guidelines on inspections, settlements of administrative complaints, and corruption prevention. He said the expertise exchanged at the meetings will be useful in improving the law on anti-corruption in Vietnam.
A seminar highlighting solidarity and cooperation between Vietnam and Cuba took place in Hanoi on September 10th. Our reporters bring you more in the following report.
The event was attended by Santiago Perez Castellanos, head of the Department on Agriculture and Food of the Communist Party of Cuba, and Cuban Ambassador Herminio Lopez Diaz. In 1960, the Cuban and Vietnamese governments set up diplomatic ties, opening up a new chapter for the friendship between the two countries. Vietnam and Cuba have stood side by side during their past struggles for independence and freedom, as well as the current national development. Bilateral ties are being expanded to numerous fields such as agriculture, industry, construction, science and technology. Vietnamese and Cuban delegates described the consistent solidarity, comprehensive cooperation and mutual trust between the nations and peoples as a precious shared asset. They said they believe that future generations would continue treasuring the solidarity and friendship and actively dedicate themselves to each country's growth.
Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar have signed deals to boost tourism cooperation and attract more visitors within the region and from third countries. These agreements were sealed at the ongoing 11th International Travel Expo in Ho Chi Minh City.
Under the agreements, the four countries agreed to join hands in designing transnational tours, training personnel, and improving the quality of tourism services. They also pledged to work on policies so as to facilitate the traveling of visitors, thereby connecting the domestic tours. By fostering tourism cooperation, the nations continue to cooperate with each other in promoting the brand name 5 countries, 1 destination in a bid to turn Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand and Vietnam into an attractive destination in the world. In 2014, the number of foreign visitors to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar amounted to 19.6 million, up 11.4% over the previous year. Meanwhile, the flow of holidaymakers to Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Thailand reached 44 million, 19% of whom came from regional countries.
The International Book Fair opened in Hanoi on September 10th, attracting thousands of book lovers, mostly young readers.
The biennial fair features 200 stalls with more than 100 publishers and distributors from within and outside the country. Coming to the exhibition, we want to provide a new way of selling books Saigon-style services for Hanoi readers. There will also be many add-on services and up to 70% discounts. I hope they will be happy purchasing our books. Differing from previous fairs, this year's event is taking place in an open-air venue, hoping to attract more visitors, especially the youth.
I'm looking for books to improve my language skills, since my major is the English language. I also want to buy some literature also.
I believe there is a tremendous improvement in the reading culture of Vietnam because of the number of titles being exhibited. Because I think publication would not improve if the reading habit will not improve.
The event also included an exhibition displaying old documents and objects related to the development of book publishing and distribution in Vietnam through different historical periods. In addition, about 3,000 books and publications on Vietnam's development and integration are on display. The book fair's agenda features several other sideline activities such as book launches, discussions with writers, and a signing ceremony on copyright exchanges. The fair will wrap up on September 14th.
14-year-old Đỗ Nhật Nam likes to write poems and take photos, and 11-year-old Vũ Tuấn Kiệt is the gifted painter. The two friends are displaying their best works at an exhibition in Hanoi to raise funds for a charitable program for disadvantaged children. Let's find out more about this meaningful show.
Just like its title, I Have You, the exhibition was inspired by two close friends, Nhật Nam and Tuấn Kiệt. Their passion for the arts connects the talented boys, who seem mature for their age but are still very naive.
I can take my eyes of Kiet's painting, but I also like Nam's photos. I find them very lively. I really like Kiet's works. They show his talent, creativity and imagination. As for Nam, I think he has a very mature view. Each painting carries its own story and sentiment.
On display are 30 of Nam's photos and nearly 100 paintings by Kiet. The prodigy Đỗ Nhật Nam is a familiar name for many people. The photos on show were captured on his journey to explore life in regions throughout the country. With the shining smile of his students at an English class or a glimpse of the naivety of an adult, each photo has its own story, captured by the pure eyes and warm heart of Nam. Wonderful! Nam's photos are beautiful and meaningful. I like the photo of a boy playing under the memorial stele. I have a passion for street life photos. I love to capture the gesture and the expression of those around me. For Kiet, the paintings he brought to the exhibition were drawn in the abstract and surrealist style. The paintings displayed this time are more colorful than those he had drawn before, which was mostly black and white. Some pieces even feature poems written in dual languages by Nam in a special collaborative effort between the two. They are bizarre but really beautiful and meaningful. I have written poems on some of his works because I find them very interesting. I changed my drawing style because I have returned to school after summer. I saw more things and more interesting events, so I have to use more color to express my view instead of only black and white. Inspired by their special friendship, the exhibition also aims to share their compassion for underprivileged children of their same age. All the money from selling the boys' works will be sent to the fund Meal with Meat to help poor students in remote areas.
And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us and goodbye for now.